Alright guys, welcome back to the Away Day Show. Coming here, putting these together a bit, all over the place without the Premier League. We're all a bit lost, I feel like, in football.
Anyone watch those games?
No,
I watched a couple
Highlights.
I saw Portugal.
I say
9-0.
the highlights against from all
I
the
only
games.
saw it because everyone's raving about Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno. 110 match rating.
Yeah, 3 assists and a goal.
Armband on. Everyone's now like, is Ronaldo the problem again at Portugal now because he didn't play this
it
one?
was,
Ronaldo-
it was Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Ronaldo would have stuck
bags
that.
against
I'm pretty sure that's his
Facts,
highest.
Yeah, like
It
15
is.
goals against like
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So I guess you got England drawing 1-0 to Ukraine. Harry Maguire starting. Portugal obviously beating Luxembourg 9-0. Germany lost 4-1 to Japan.
And
in a
Hansi
friendly.
Flick got the
Yeah,
sack.
and got a sack.
Hansi Flick got the flick.
I think he had to though.
Oh, you can't
Yeah,
be defeated
well-
twice by
He got
Japan.
knocked out of a group stage of a World
Yeah.
Cup,
Yeah.
and then it's gone.
It was a bit of a group of death though when you look back at it though. Like,
Yeah, well, so
Yeah.
so now that he's going to be on the market, like obviously
Do you
he performed very well at Ballon. Obviously,
Yeah.
maybe it just doesn't really suit the short time period with the
Period,
players,
yeah.
sort of thing. Is he going to be like a big prospect maybe for the Prem?
it's I think it's
No
like,
one's really looking out for managers at the moment, but
but it could be a fact of him moving back to Germany and then someone from Germany, like a three-way. So like we
Yeah.
talked about the Nagelsmann thing last year. Tottenham could be something like that, right?
It wouldn't surprise me if he went back to Bayern, to be honest.
And Tuchel
Oh,
goes
I don't think Tuchel's
No, I
gonna
don't
sack
think
him
yet,
soon.
but like
Eventually.
Tuchel,
And I don't see him going back to Bayern, to be honest. I just
So
don't,
you
I
think
just don't
if
see that
Tu-
happening.
I don't know. I think Tuchel's will do all right, but like Tuchel now they brought in Kane. They expect the Champions League. This has gone to like the PSG point now. So like I think if they like don't win the Champions League, they don't care if they win the league. I reckon Tuchel gets a sack.
You win it 13 times.
Well, I mean, I know Ancelotti's leaving.
yeah, for Brazil,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
for Brazil.
soon.
Well, he
Or-
still denies it, but like
Fabrizio's basically.
Fabrizio-
But isn't he definitely leaving at the end of the year?
no, he
Not
doesn't have a
confirmed.
contract for next year.
No. I think Perez already came out and said that. Like, I think this is in last year. Maybe I'm wrong,
I'm
but it's
not
in.
sure.
I think,
But
there's more
I think
pressure on
Ancelotti's
him.
leaving.
He could get sacked if he
Like,
didn't do
and
well.
you never know. Like Flick could like sort of end up there. And,
It wouldn't be a different fit. It's a very Bayern type setup where you just have to win at Real Madrid.
yeah, like I mean,
it
yeah,
takes a lot
like,
to coach his side.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. I just think but that's why I reckon he might go back to Bayern. Like, but then will he be on the market to the end of the year? That's the problem. Probably not.
yeah.
Premier
Well,
League clubs will come in and pay.
more than likely doesn't manage this year, but like agrees
next
yeah,
season,
like
right?
a
Yeah.
follow on sort of thing with.
One manager on the market still is Potter. Do you reckon he's
Didn't
gonna
he deny?
he denied? Was it Leon or Marseille?
Yeah, like a French
Leon, I think.
French club. Yeah,
Leon.
He probably wants another big gig.
I reckon
He's probably looking at
I
like.
reckon what he's waiting
England?
for is England.
I think he's suited England.
Yeah, I reckon he's waiting for the England gig.
He plays
I
good
think-
football.
I don't know if England would take him. I think we've seen like when Potter doesn't have like a full preseason and heaps of time to get along. I mean,
True.
it doesn't seem to click. So I think in that sort of environment where you need to get players playing quickly and you
They're
clearly
gonna make
like,
a bid for Pep.
and I don't think that works either.
The only counter
Nah.
I say to that is England fans are dying. This is almost like a Tottenham thing. They're dying for any sort of attacking football, like anything. Like we've got arguably their generational
It's hard in
midfield.
international
But
football.
Poch at least plays.
That's why. Do you know who I
triangles
think
and
would be a
like-
really good international manager? Mourinho.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
who parks
He's a
the bus?
He's
Yeah,
a
but no-
tournament.
Nah,
he's a
nah,
tournament
right,
I get
manager.
that.
Unai.
He's a tournament manager.
But people are moving away now from this whole like tournament defensive football. Like
I agree with you in terms of when you're watching like your team. So whether it be
yeah.
Arsenal or United, you
Yeah,
don't
but-
want that.
like a
But
week
like
in, week out basis.
who coached Italy the Euros?
Mancini.
Is he still there?
No.
Nah, Mancini
Exactly,
left.
because it's the same thing. It's tournament football. It's like
Mancini was the most progressive Italian manager that's probably existed in the last 30 years.
but it was still not-
No, he got the sack because he didn't get
results.
Italy into the last World Cup.
Yeah.
And that's why he got the sack. And then a few of the other...
because he can't score goal.
And also, I'm not 100% sure if he got the full sack. He got 25 million a year offered by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that what he authored by Saudi?
He's coaching the national team
Oh yeah,
at
true.
25 million.
And then that guy replaced France. He works with women's France.
Women's France team,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So like, I think I don't know if I agree with you. I can understand where you're coming from because you look at the teams like Spain, but Spain's hard because it's very easy to adapt to Spain when every single one of their players plays the exact same.
Yeah.
So you bring them together.
Well, Spanish football is
Spanish
like
football's
all
the same.
relatively similar,
Whereas you got the like English team, for example, you got 8 different like methods, going in together. It's not that easy.
Doesn't Potter, like, because he's been time in the Premier League, because of his time of playing with a few players now that will be in the England team, wouldn't that just help out a little bit? I just think like it's a bit more progressive. He'll know some of the players.
Yeah.
He'll play a style that probably suits the Bellinghams, the Colwills, the Walkers of the world that should be in this starting 11, like the Stones. Like ideally, your Stones and Cole will play centre back, not Maguire and whoever play next to him.
You're completely right. I don't know.
It probably is not the biggest step
I think
forward,
in the
but
sense of like Southgate's like really defensive. Like he
I
gets
also think,
scared and
like-
goes into a back five and 2 DMs. But like, I think defensive football does work in the World
it
Cups
does-
and the,
it does
and the
work.
Euros.
No,
and
it
those
works,
types
but
of-
it's in
do
like
people want to say that anymore? I think that's
yeah,
sort of the thing.
well,
though.
and if you're not getting the
I
results,
don't-
which Southgate hasn't done, like he's gotten them close. But if you're not
no,
finishing
you're
it
right.
off,
If you're not getting the
touristy
results,
quarterfinals,
like then you have
right?
nothing to fall back on.
Yeah.
Like at least like early
I don't-
days with like Arteta and like when new managers come in who play progressing football,
Yeah.
it's like you can fall back on like okay, we're not getting the results by now, but you can see progression. You can see that we're playing attacking. It's
Yeah.
enjoyable. Like and ideally the results come, but when you're not getting the results and you're not playing like an appealing brand,
It just
then
doubles down.
yeah, it's like you have nothing going for you and you're
Yeah.
getting the sack. And especially in Southgate's case, and he keeps persisting with these guys who can't even play at their club level. I think
it's just
Southgate's
so
like riding his own, riding his
Yeah,
own.
100. But I just
It's
look at
aura.
it, I look
It's
at
aura.
it from the perspective of like we were all entrenched in Australia when they were versing Denmark.
Yeah.
I don't
but we're
I don't think anyone had a problem.
Different
though.
level though.
No, but it's so
Different
different.
level.
But it's
It
not.
is-
It's not
No,
different.
it
I tell
is.
you right now,
It's
for that
so
4-week
different.
tournament,
It's
no one
so-
cares. You care
Yeah,
about
because we're
celebrating
Australian.
at the end of the
People
week.
don't.
No, Italy
but
don't
there's-
care. None
but
of them
there's
care.
levels to it though.
They don't
I
care.
promise you. No, I agree, bro.
Obviously,
In this-
Spain changed.
overall, in the history of it, like I tend to agree that in a 7-week tournament, you'd much
even, it's
rather.
like 4
No, I'm
weeks.
talking the World Cup, right? Well, 7
Whatever,
game
the
tournament,
short-
7
yeah,
game
seven-game
tournament.
tournament, yeah.
You'd rather win the trophy, right? 100%.
Then play.
But I'm saying is in
four
like
wheels,
there's levels to which it's accepted, right? Like with the Aussies,
Australian
bro,
football, like
we
get
we
two
don't
days
have
over the A-League
guys
game.
But
who
I don't
play
think it really
for
matters.
Bayern Munich up front, number 9. We don't have
Exactly.
we don't have
Unless you're
we
gonna
don't
get
have Real Madrid's
Yeah, but
next
unless you're
10-year
gonna get
midfielder.
Spain-
Yeah, in your
we
10.
have like Aaron Moy, who's playing in like I think Japan now.
He's
Like,
on he has like one hamstring
Like,
left because
no,
he's
no, no,
hamstring.
we
you're
have Matty
completely
Ryan.
right.
Like we have cult
But I
heroes.
don't think there's like obviously
But
for,
it's different.
for the
It's very
Spanish,
different.
They've had this method of
Nah,
play.
it's
If you went and
different.
played it,
It's so
it'd be
You say they're
different.
Spanish, but and this is what I keep saying. Like the Spanish league was the top league in the world about 10 years ago. The Premier League now is renowned as the best league in the world, and by a long way. I think.
But
we think.
it's about
So
the
why
method. You don't
can't
need
you-
it. Like the coaches, you look at the coaches, for example, like you had Enrique there as the coach of Spain.
Yeah, that's the older-
He
And
did
there's-
the exact method that Barca play. But which realistically most of their players come from Barca. And if they don't, they're from Real or they're from
But you tell me,
Atletico Bilbao.
you tell me, all these players who are playing for England are not all playing this
Yeah.
new system where
There's-
the fullback
there's
tucks
also-
in. There's
Yeah,
there's
nah.
inverted fullbacks. There's wingers that are coming in short and receiving. You play
Yeah,
in
you're right,
triangles.
you're right.
It's also a
Like-
mentality thing as well. It's like England has probably their best team they've had in at least 20 years, right?
Since
Yeah.
the Owen Beckham
Yeah,
stuff.
at
like,
least in 20
Yeah,
years. And
100%.
arguably one of their best teams. Like if they were to win the trophy, right, which they like, which is they feel like they're coming close to
just eluded them so many times.
almost
right? Yeah.
since ever, right? Like, since the 50s or 60s, whenever they won the World Cup. Like, there's a mentality thing surrounded by playing so defensively they're almost, and like they're sacrificing their best players, some of their best players in the last 20 to 100 years. Like, whether it be the Owen, the Beckham,
what
or
was it?
when they last won.
You look at
It's
Saka
like
back to
they're
back as
forcing
well,
in
like-
Maguire and stuff
Yeah.
at the sacrifice of some of their best generational attackers, and they're playing so defensive, and they're not getting any of the their good stuff out of their good players. They're just sitting
It's
deep.
a hard one,
It's
though.
like
And
you're
I
not
can
actually getting.
understand it.
You're not playing your good players to
I
their
was
best
listening to a
by
podcast,
playing this shitty.
and you probably would have listened to it.
Exactly.
brand.
Your point's perfectly right because you got Beckham, now you got Saka, back to back
Yeah.
England best player of the year. Like, can't get the service against Arsenal because the ball doesn't play like that. Foden, the whole argument, I think Southgate came out and said, I'm not playing him down the middle because Pep doesn't. But Pep's got 1,000 players who can play there. Play Foden down the middle.
And this
He's
whole
a
this
great
whole
number 10.
agenda that Southgate had against Madison a couple of years ago for so long, he refused to pick
play.
Madison, and now you look at what Ange is doing with Madison at Spurs. Like he's like he generates everything in that Spurs team because Ange trusts him to be able to help the build up play
And it's
to
free
get
roam
results.
license.
But no,
No,
in a Southgate
You're right.
system, you have to play buddy. Calvin Phillips hasn't played a minute all year next to Declan Rice.
So do you think
play
Pickford
Maguire
or
in the middle of
Ramsdale
the
should be the keeper?
Say again?
I think
Pickford or
Ramsdale.
Ramsdale?
I think that's no question Ramsdale.
See,
Like,
I
zero
was
debate,
completely
Ramsdale.
on your half, and I listened to a podcast, and I reckon you listened.
What, is this because Pickford hasn't actually played bad in English, so same as Maguire?
Foster.
That's not the
No,
point.
I think
it's like when you have
can't
these,
drop
when you
him,
have
though,
these,
when he hasn't done any, when he's been
why
good
can't
for
you?
England.
Look at Pep, man. Look at the successful
Claudio
teams.
Bravo gone, and then
what
you
do you
bring
mean?
in
what do you mean you
Edison,
can't drop them? Okay, I don't know international football amazingly. Well, I mean, I actually do though. In the
see
sense
enough
that,
of it,
like,
yeah.
not amazingly, but in the sense that
I think
you
Maguire's
Edison and
different.
Alisson.
Maguire doesn't play,
Edison
so
and
you
Alisson
definitely drop him in.
rotated. Right, they rotate, like, you know, and you just don't budge. Like, as in, whoever the best keeper in the world is at the point plays. Edison was better than Alisson at a period there. He played.
I don't think Edison's really ever played for Brazil.
He has caps for Brazil.
He's got caps as a number 2 goalkeeper.
The point is though, you got a Southgate manager who
Alisson's
doesn't want to
better.
play expressive. If you want to go on and get Jude Belling's involved, get Kyle Walker at his best, overlapping fullback,
you're right.
you get a ball-playing centre, a ball-going keeper.
3 $100 million players, £100 million players rather than two. You got 2 DMs or a DM and an 8, sorry. And then you got a left winger. You got money.
And
like,
Saka's
you got
got
some of the
probably
most
150 million.
expensive players in the world in that team. And I
yet-
know English tax, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but
well,
like,
they got a very
you clearly
strong team.
have got their team is insane at the
Well,
moment.
if you
But
look
you're
at a good
fielding
starting
Maguire
lineup, like they could field
and Calvin
something like
Phillips.
what would you feel? Luke Shaw, Cole Wills,
You got Cole Stones, Walker, and
Declan
Ramsdale
Rice,
Rice, Bellingham, Madison, or take
Or
your
Foden.
pick at
Or
10.
Foden.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
your pick at 10.
and then you play Rashford on the left,
and then-
Saka on the right.
or Grealish.
I think Grealish plays left. for
Saka,
creation.
you know, and then you got Kane, and like
and you got Rush off the bench. Like,
they
how you not going to score?
have so much attacking depth.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously when Tony was playing, they got Tony. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like they
But
have
Callum
so
Wilson's
much
a handy
depth.
striker as well.
Like they have goals everywhere, but yet they want to force.
because there's too much of this stuff,
Like,
side
they
to side.
want to
And
force
like,
in like Calvin Phillips as a very defensively minded 8, or sorry, 10, like, you know, 6 rather, and they want to play Maguire in like this stupid
But I saw
3
Maguire
back.
started.
Like,
Calvin Phillips been playing.
he didn't play a lot, but it's more. It's more so being in the squad.
premise of it, though,
It's also
yeah.
being in the
Yeah.
squad when guys like Ward Prowse miss out, and I think Ward Prowse might have made it. But there's guys who are missing out.
Who missed out this
Like,
time around?
Yeah, someone missed out. I'm forgetting.
Someone
who it
was
is.
disastrously missed out. I'll check it.
but a
yeah, it
relatively
was-
big name
Yeah.
who's been playing missed out, and that's the point. It's like when you're persisting with guys like how Maguire plays is disgraceful.
Oh, that is disgraceful.
Like,
I agree with that.
and the Pickford Ramsey thing. You have one of the best.
I blame
like,
Southgate
you have-
for our problems at
you have the
Man
second-
United.
You have a borderline relegation team, keeper, who is just like unequivocally in the team week in, week out. Or you have a progressive, solid with his hands, elite with his feet, plays for the second best team in the Prem, young,
Yeah, you're right.
like,
No, I think you're
you know,
right on that basis.
keeper
I just
in
think that-
Ramsdale who can't get a look in. And it just makes no sense. I mean, there is no debate. I don't care how good Pickford is for England. Like,
Oh, Jordan Henderson making the score, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like
that
what?
stuff like that.
Like-
that's what drives you nuts, right?
Yeah,
Henry
well, that's
got
why he
Scott-
left. But
Scott
apparently
Buddy-
he had a little chat with, like, did you hear he had a little chat with South Africa? He's like, or if I go to Saudi Arabia,
oh,
is that
you
going
know,
to influence?
he's a bloody, like, you know, moral, like, you know, great for the dressing room, like, sick man. Like,
yeah. But he's been
Henderson
he played as well.
just
I'm
got Buddy,
sure he played.
like, had an extradition from Liverpool because, you know, like, because they hadn't had a 6 all year, right? And yet they got rid of their captain.
Because they need a more progressive playmaking
like,
play.
they didn't even offer him a contract, like, you know, a crap contract. He said this. He came out and said, had they offered me anything, I would have stayed. But not one person told me they wanted me to stay.
Because it's
so I
time to
left.
time. It's
like-
progressing. It's progressive
like,
football.
It's telling when your 5th place Prem team, managed by a ruthless manager who's got success in the past,
Yep.
gets rid of their club captain for the last 7-8 years or whatever it was,
Heart and
who
soul
had
of the team or
elite
something like
success
that.
with the club. You know, heart and
yeah,
soul
Heart
of
and
the
Soul
team.
Club. Yeah.
But yet, when it comes to England,
He's still playing.
like he's, you know, it looks to be just a staple in the team.
It's almost
it makes no sense. He's riding his own death.
I would say it's
Death
almost
Note.
like Southgate knows he's going, so he's just going to stick by his guns and say, well, if I go down, we all go down together. Almost.
Just makes no sense though.
And going
what
into a
is the
Euros,
thought
we have a
process by it?
chance, right? Like
Yeah.
in the qualifiers and the Euros, you have a chance.
If
Why do this?
if you were like from the UK or from England rather, like you would be because you know,
Oh,
as you said,
100%.
like, okay, yeah, he's going down with the ship sort of thing, like, you know, going down on his
Yeah,
morals,
yeah.
blah blah blah. But like
Who did Southgate
he's
even
wasting
coach?
their prime years.
Before England.
He's wasting
Middlesbrough.
these guys' prime years. Like Kane's 30 now. You know,
Yeah, he's their
these guys
striker.
are getting
He's their
on.
best striker
Like
ever.
he's probably the Prem's like best ever striker.
Greatest goal scorer of the Premier.
You know,
yeah.
has just gone to Bane. He's in like the twilight of his career. You know, you need to get the most out of him now. And like, it just doesn't make any sense.
best central midfielder they've
'cause
had
it
for
doesn't,
ages,
You know,
like-
at this stage, heading towards the Euros next year, success doesn't look likely. No. And like by the next World Cup, Kane's going to be 33, 34. And like, you know, these guys, some of them are going to be entering their prime, but a lot of them are going to be heading out of it. And it's like, you know, is the FA going to look back on this period and think, oh, like, do we miss out here? Do we screw up bad? And, you know, by then it could be all too late. I mean, look, it looks like they have great talent coming through still. Like Saka's young, Bellingham's young, Foden's young. They have players there. Colwell's young.
Colwell's good, yeah.
But like,
even Ramsdale's
but
young.
but you don't want to look at this team in 5 years' time and think, oh crap, like, maybe we missed a beat there. Yeah,
it'd be almost like it would be so criminal for Harry Kane to also miss out on a England chance as well.
100%.
Because the bloke's done everything he can possibly can for England, for Tottenham, and he's just had the bad manager.
He's been the most reliable
times.
player for England and Spurs over the last 10 years,
and yet he might leave without none of the things.
It would feel so much.
It'd be unjust if they went on a one
Harry
after
Kane,
he left.
If he went and retired and they won something, that would be unbelievable.
Now, speaking of getting things that are messed up, Ballon d'Or, Tots, you're interested in this. The people who included, excluded. Obviously, for me, the big one, obviously, Stones not being included after winning a treble.
There was a big few.
Rashford also.
Oh, yeah. I'm big on Rashford. And, like, whether it's... I've had this debate with you, Flynn, whether it's Saka or it's someone else, but, like, he's got to be in the best 25 players... 100% in my opinion.
No, I agree. I just hate this. Like, it should be in over Saka because I think that's
okay. Mate, I'm not sure that. I personally think he does. Like,
no, I
over
know
Saka.
on the stats.
You obviously don't believe. Where I'm a Man United fan, you're an Arsenal fan, so like it's pretty easy to work out our opinions here. But
Rashford had a great year, but I think he had a great period.
He had a great 4 or 5
matches.
Months though.
I think he had a great couple of months. Whereas Saka maybe had a poor end of the season. I think the reasons he buys plays into it.
Player of the month.
Yeah, but that's a popularity award. That means nothing, bro.
Yeah. It's a
player of the month means
he
nothing.
Definitely deserved it in 2 of the 3.
He maybe deserved one. Yeah, a couple of them for sure. But like the point...
He is voted for he's like FIFA.
Player of the month, I don't put any value in because it's like, who's going to have the best card in the new FIFA, right? Like it's kind of irrelevant. But no, Rashford was good. But I think he was good for maybe like a 14-week period. And look, we're comparing two guys who should be in the Ballon d'Or squad. I agree with you, he should be in there, but not at the expense for Saka.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying. And I think it's a very fair point.
Who's in there that shouldn't be in there? Do we know?
Well, I need to look at the team.
I'm trying to find some of the names.
Oh, there was one I was looking at, and I was very controversial on it, but then I thought he has to make it. Alvarez, I thought he had to make it because of the World Cup.
That's what I think as well.
Yeah, but even then, like Rashford would have had a better personal year than Alvarez.
But that shows why Messi. That's the whole reason why Messi will end up winning it.
Yeah, and whether I agree with that or not,
that's a shambles. But
Messi wins. It's gonna be a joke.
Yeah. That's.
But again,
what do you think? Who do you think should win it? Who do you think should win it? Not who will. Who do you think deserves it more, Haaland or Messi? Because we were having this conversation.
Yeah.
At the end of the World Cup,
we were.
Literally probably on the night that
Argentina won. He's
won the 8th. He's won his 8th Ballon d'Or because we know how the system works.
Well, he's got to win it.
But I think. Do you think he deserves it though over Haaland?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's as all these people that go on about Haaland it being like should 100% win it, and all these people that go on about Messi. I don't know. I think it's very, very close, and I think anyone that says it's not close on both parts. I think it's ridiculous to say because you've got to take into consideration. Okay, Haaland for starters has gone and won a treble, which no other English club has done apart from United.
Yep.
He's like broke the Premier League goal record.
Yeah.
Like he's done a lot of good things.
In his first year,
but you've got to. I always also look at the way Messi's done it, and everyone goes, all Messi did was win the World Cup and become player of the tournament. I disagree with that. Okay, he didn't do well in the Champions League and everyone's going to go, it's the Farmers League, the French League. But he still put up numbers.
Yeah, but
he still played well.
Can't you put up numbers?
He's still got player of the month.
How couldn't you put up numbers on that team?
He's still got a lot of player of the month.
Not player of the month. Actually work.
It's the year.
Starting when?
So it's the
surely it's like
the midway point of last season till like it's the start of this basically. That's how it works.
What the midway point? So like
because what like
no, it's like it's the season.
It has to be the season.
It's the season.
Well, the award's given out like.
But it's like
it makes no sense though. Like because historically it's been like he had a great year. You know, he had a slow start of the season. He had a great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure it's based between the when the award is and then like.
I thought that as well,
but no matter what it is, it's irrelevant to both.
But the point is though, like
this year it is, but it's also like as in, I'm looking at like Mo Salah. is not.
Okay, that's one I think. Actually, he's in the Ballon d'Ors. That's one I think Rashford should have got over.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Mo Salah.
Mo Salah
Rashford
was way
Rashford had a better Prem season. No,
and he had a better whole year.
Saka had a better Prem season. Well, yeah, whole year.
I'm not sure about Mo Salah.
No,
you guys are taking into consideration the Prem too much.
Year, but I think Rashford was better.
Wow.
Bro, Rashford had a nuts year. So did Saka. Saka had a great year, man.
Saka and Rashford were both
Salah's
better.
numbers. You compared Saka numbers to Rashford numbers. Salah's numbers are
He
incredible.
got one more goal.
No,
For a
Salah's
bad
numbers
year, though.
are Good,
For a
but
bad
It
year.
doesn't matter if it's a bad year. It's
This is
irrelevant.
my problem with things. Yeah, bad year.
Yeah, what does it mean? What does it mean for the
It's-
Ballon d'Or? Bad year.
So there we go.
irrelevant.
So there we go. So this is where it comes back to Messi's thing. So if PSG didn't achieve it, so they had a bad year, Messi still won a World Cup, and Haaland won everything, that's a good year. So what's the difference there then? What's the point there?
I'm gonna
So
say
you
like
got good years and bad years. Look at Haaland's great year versus Messi's average subpar year, but he won a World Cup. So
But I don't
that's
think it was
my
average.
point.
I don't think it was an average year for Messi.
So my point saying, you talk about bad years, good years for Salah
Yeah,
and
this is what I think.
Rashford.
But I don't think Messi
So
had
then-
an average year.
you're
Messi
saying-
had an above average year.
Everyone's like, Messi achieved so much in a bad year.
You're contradicting yourself.
Yeah, you're contradicting yourself.
Whereas
I don't think I
am the
am.
same on both. I think Rashford had a better year than Salah. I think Messi had a far worse year than Haaland.
Okay, yeah,
don't
I'm saying as
think
well.
he had a
But everyone
far
says
worse
Messi
year.
achieved so much, considering they didn't do
But
well.
I think most people tend to say Haaland deserves it.
I hope so, because
I just
it's a
think
joke if
people
Messi
know
wins.
he's
I don't think it's as cut and dry as you're
People-
saying it though.
people know
I'm
how
not saying
the
he
award works,
doesn't.
though.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but it's not cut and dry.
But I think it is. I think
It's not night and day.
I'm gonna
The
say
brother
like
one-
such a casual right now, but like, how good did like Randall Kolo Muani have it? Like, how good was his year? Like,
Yeah, like,
like what? That's gonna sound so. What?
Okay,
I just
Martinez got nominated, bro.
that's
he was
different.
good for
Yeah,
Argentina.
okay, that's different. That's different.
He
yeah.
was good, but he
should not be
like
there.
he had a shocking second half of the year for Aston Villa, man. Like what? Like-
he wasn't the reason they did
Okay,
so well. It was
I
their
go-
fault.
okay.
Bro, what?
I look at it. You guys go like Messi did a
Griezmann was nuts.
so removing the Champions League, and I know you're going to go removing the Champions League is big, but removing the Champions League, Messi did everything he possibly could have done. He could not have had a better season in the League One.
Bro,
Could Haaland do anything more?
Like-
But Haaland didn't win a World Cup, and everyone's going to go, he couldn't win the World
that
Cup.
doesn't-
this is his point. Talk about the Portugal point that you brought up.
Yeah,
The
like-
whole,
and I think this
Norway-
is such,
Norway
I
are
think
never
this
gonna
is
win a
such
World
a
Cup.
valid point. You know, after in terms of like the GOAT debate, yeah, I'm obviously a Ronaldo fan, but like I'm not like a Messi hater. Like
I'm not a Ronaldo hater.
No, but that's kind of regardless.
But we're talking about in general.
Is that like
general?
my issue with Messi just winning the World Cup and suddenly becoming the greatest player of all time, or like undisputed, Ballon d'Or winner this year, greatest player of all time? Is that there is different level of expectation that comes with the nation you're born in.
He plays for
If
Norway.
you're born in Brazil or Argentina or France or
Spain or something like-
or Spain,
Yeah.
there is like an underlying inherent fate, greater chance for you winning or greater expectation for you to win the World Cup than there is if you're born in like Denmark or Portugal or a team with little international success.
I
in the
understand
past
your point.
because the way it works.
I'll go from my point of view. I
Messi
understand
winning,
your point, but it's hard
Messi winning.
to say that.
No, how is it hard?
I'll tell you why it's hard
Messi
to say
winning the
that.
World Cup
Haaland's got another guy.
is far less great of an achievement than Ronaldo winning it versus Haaland winning it. It's like how can you compare the World Cup thing to Haaland's achievements in the year anyway? Because there is the inherent advantage that Messi has to win that trophy is
I
a
don't think he
million times.
has an advantage. Why does he have an advantage?
Haaland wasn't even there.
What?
Haaland didn't even make
That
it.
is Haaland
Haaland's
plays
on
for
the beach.
Norway.
Okay, on against
What?
Haaland, he has an advantage.
Yeah, he has an advantage over like 80%
I
of
was
the.
using the Messi.
Okay,
I think the same applies.
I understand
to Messi
the
Ronaldo as Messi
expectation,
Haaland.
but if you look about what's like impressive, I think this is what everyone's problem is.
How
That's rogue. That is the roguest
the dumbest
take.
thing I've ever heard.
What do you
How
mean?
do you think?
It's not an
I'll
advantage.
tell you why. Portugal's squad was better than Argentina's squad.
No, but I'm talking about
At the World
in this
Cup.
scenario. I'm talking about Messi and
Yeah, but
Haaland.
you're saying like
comparing-
Ronaldo. Yeah, but you're saying like, oh, he has when he was first playing for Argentina, he's got a better expectation. Like he's got a greater expectation to win it. But it's a harder journey, I reckon, to win it than it would have been for Ronaldo.
Maybe the squad thing is a fair.
It's a fair fact.
Point.
He wouldn't have had a top 10.
But at the
What
same
do you
time,
mean the journey though? He goes to the South
Yeah.
American journey to get there. It's
yeah,
piece
at
of
the
piss.
same
So
time,
is the European journey. 12 teams make it to the World Cup.
Yeah, from Europe,
That's why
where
Italy-
all
that's
the
why-
best
is that
teams
why
in the
Italy
world
made it? Is that why
are
Italy
local.
made it? Is that why Italy made it? Because it's so easy to get.
Yeah,
in
because
Europe.
Italy
Is
missed
that
that as
why-
well.
Is that why Italy made it too, you know?
And back to your point, you say all these teams expect it.
Italy, they just won the Euros, man. What
And
do
they
you
didn't
mean
make
Italy
it.
are crap.
And to his point, you were like, all these teams expect to win it. England expect to win it. They've only won it once. in how many years?
like,
The originators of
I
football
think,
have
you
not
know,
once. Like,
But that's why I'm saying how hard it is. You've just proved my point.
yeah, and I proved the point that
well-
someone from Norway, the little tiny Norway, with
Yeah, but you
two
just proved
players who
how
were
hard
good.
it is. And the fact
No,
that
it's
Messi...
hard, but it's a lot harder if you're from Norway than
minnow
you're from
country.
Argentina.
I think the fact is, if you take Messi...
How can you... So
look at
my-
Messi's individual
my
performances
point-
in that World Cup.
Yeah, they were
Look at
very
Haaland's
good.
run
Scored
into
a
the
lot
Premier
of
League.
pens.
Probably apart from Pele, which none of us ever watched, and none of us can really say much
Never
about.
watched,
There
yeah.
was no better player that we can say was at a World Cup as a performance.
When
Oh, I
Barber
don't
had it, you know, like it's funny.
I
to
can't
say
say
that,
'cause I haven't watched Pele yet, so I don't
Because if
know.
Martinez doesn't save that last minute shot,
Mbappe
we're
goes
talking
out as one of the
about Mbappe
legends.
right now
Yeah,
instead of Messi.
Yeah. Mbappe goes under one of the greatest ever.
We're talking about an Mbappe grand final, World Cup final hat trick.
Full goal,
You
right?
know-
Would have been
No,
who's
three.
who's
He
someone else
scored
was still
three.
in
He
goal?
scored three. He got the
Colomani
pen,
was still in
pen,
goal.
and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
played. Yeah. But it's in like, it's just like it's a matter of interest, and I know that doesn't
that's a
change
the old
anything in
cliche.
terms of like in terms of
I
like
don't even
whole
look at just the
perspective.
final though, because I wouldn't say like I don't.
No, but you're just
look
talking
at
about
those
Messi's
other
like-
games.
You're talking about
Messi's
World Cup
semi-final,
performances,
Messi's
though, but it's
semi-final
like-
performance. Like,
But it's like,
Yeah, probably like even at
Mbappe
this
had a
stage,
great
I'm
World
happy
Cup.
to say that Mbappe had a better World Cup final performance than Messi.
Oh, yeah,
did.
Messi's
Mbappe had a
semi-final was
great
nuts.
World
I agree
Cup,
with
though.
that.
Like,
Messi's semi-final was one of the greatest performances I've watched. I'll give that. But like, it's gonna sound really. You're gonna hate this point, but you talk about 4 weeks versus 9 months.
Yeah,
and you win it all
and
for
I
a
know
team
it's
that
the
has the
World
stigma
Cup.
of
But
can't winning a
like, I know
Champions
it's
League.
the
Correct,
World Cup.
correct. But what again? And I think you just said it then. But you guys are like putting down how the World Cup. Well, if you go to players and everything, is like winning a trophy. It's like winning the Premier League. It'd be bigger than winning the Premier League.
yeah,
Yeah,
obviously,
but
but like
Haaland won 3 things, not one thing.
yeah, it's like,
Like, if you-
the
okay.
treble
Yeah,
is a
one.
greater achievement in the World Cup. Changed my mind. Honestly, one of those changed my mind. The treble is a greater achievement in the World Cup. 100%. There's been 2 trebles
Especially
in
in
the Prem,
England.
or 3
The FA
in
Cup
the
goes
last-
as one of the
like,
greatest cup competitions,
like,
the oldest cup competition.
How many players?
Premier League.
Okay, how many players win the treble? How many players win the World Cup?
Look at the Argentinian squad. You
Like,
said,
honestly,
look at the Argentinian
how
squad.
many players? How many trebles have there been in the last 20
Montiel
how many
at
trebles-
Nottingham Forest has got a World
How
Cup.
many actual
Yeah.
good trebles have there been in the last 20 years? What, 3? Or Barca?
Barca's
Barca
United.
Barca's done it twice.
in the
Barca.
last 20 years?
Yeah, Barca did it.
United's 99
twice.
team.
Someone
Team.
else did it.
Last
once.
20, it's not the last 20 years.
Oh, that's 20
Yeah,
years.
last 20.
Barca
I
did
just
it
wanna know the last
twice.
20
United did it twice. Oh no, the
in the last
United
20
once.
once.
But not in the last 20 years, though.
And City did it.
And City did it.
Have Madrid done one?
Obviously,
Treble.
Bayern
Never won a
would
treble.
have
Never won a
100%
treble.
done it.
But MSN
Bayern
never.
would have done it.
BBC didn't win a treble.
No, I'm like, okay. Like, I hate to discredit Bayern, but like,
That's still a treble.
yeah, but they won the league 10 years in a row. Doesn't really count.
But they won
Did
the
they,
Champions
did they
League.
win the treble?
Nah,
Yeah,
okay,
they
I'll
did.
say that
They
as
never
well.
win the
But
German Cup, though.
the point though is that like equal, if not
No, okay, but-
marginally
so you
different
think-
numbers of people win the treble as the World Cup, right? And someone always wins the World Cup. Not someone doesn't always win the treble. Right?
Okay,
Like,
I agree with
so-
you that a treble's worth more than the World Cup, but I'm not.
So isn't that
But
my point
Messi,
there?
but
Isn't that my point
you're
there?
acting like the treble's worth more than the World Cup, and Messi was injured or dead for those other 9 months.
He was.
He
I'm sorry. He was good, but he was good in Ligue 1, bro. The
Yeah.
Ligue 1 holds no
Answer
weight.
Answer this question. If Messi didn't
How
win
many-
the World
how many
Cup,
other- how
if
many
Messi
other-
didn't play in the World
Yeah,
Cup at
okay,
all,
yeah.
do you think he would have made the nominations?
No chance.
I think 100% he would have.
Neymar didn't.
No.
Neymar did it. Neymar did it.
No, yeah.
Neymar did nothing. He was
I was
injured
about-
the
I was
whole
about to
year.
say, how many other League 1 players made the Ballon d'Or list?
Yeah, but Neymar.
Colomani.
Yeah, is that it?
Colomani was in Germany, mate.
Oh, yeah, he's in
Yeah, and I
Germany.
think he played for like,
He played for
not Leverkusen.
Frankfurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's,
Eintracht
at,
Frankfurt.
he's at PSG now.
Yeah, and he had one of the better World Cups. He was an up and coming World
Made
Cup.
me sound like a casual just then, bro. No, legit.
I just think
not,
though-
Not
I just
one
think
other
though,
player.
if
Not
you-
one other player was in the.
If
oh,
Ronaldo
Mbappe,
gets
Mbappe.
slandered at 30 after going to Saudi league, a farm with it.
Okay, but do you not think that he would have made the
league.
25 if he scored? If he scored
No,
40 goals and
Messi
assists?
would have, but that's my problem with the award is that it's way too much bearing on a player's name.
'Cause his
like
name's
Ronaldo
Messi.
made it last year. Like, did he deserve to make it last year? Like, did have all these players deserve to make it when they've made it? No. But the fact of the matter is that the player, the name that comes with the player, or the reputation that comes with the player's name, holds a lot of bearing on who wins the award. And if Messi, right, wasn't Lionel Messi, if he was Julian Alvarez,
Yeah, or
who
like
just
Di
won the
Maria.
World Cup, or Di Maria, who just won the World Cup, and had a great World
Julian
Cup performance.
Alvarez has scored 10 goals for City.
But he played in the treble-winning team compared
And
to
won the
a league.
championship.
What are you talking about, man?
he didn't really have much of an
If
impact.
it wasn't Messi, If it wasn't Lionel Messi,
talking about someone
if
that
it
didn't
was
play for
Angel
the start
Di
of the-
Maria,
Yeah.
who had this World Cup performance, it'd be like, oh,
No, but
like,
no,
he had a great tournament.
You know, be
but
more,
Haaland was winning.
You know, it'd be more funny if Ronaldo had Mbappe and Neymar next to him, and everyone be saying, "Oh, he got so much help to win the league, or he got so much help to win this." Messi's in the team. Don't get me wrong, good season, right? But you're playing with the generational talent for France in Mbappe, who
Like,
arguably
in
had the
France,
best,
bro.
yeah,
Like, in
the
France.
greatest French player maybe to ever play in the future. 10 years
And
ago.
what round did they make in the Champions League?
Well, 16, yeah, great. Well
They
done.
were
Well done.
knocked
Well
out
done. Well
in
done.
round of
Messi, round 16.
That
round of 16.
almost does
What is
more
that?
against Messi than it does for him. Like
Exactly.
round of 16 sucks, man.
And
Like,
there's
that's like
I just-
shocking. Like in
it's
terms of being
embarrassing.
PSG,
It's embarrassing.
yeah,
the
no,
team they've
that's
got.
shocking.
It's
I
embarrassing.
think. Look, we're rambling about this now, but I think
I think it's if Messi wins, it will be a joke. It is 2 years.
no,
two
Messi.
times.
If I was going to bet on it,
2 times in 4 years.
if I was going to bet on it, Messi's going to win it.
That's what I'm saying.
2 times in 4 years. So you're going to say he didn't win
Lewandowski. The Lewandowski year.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't win the...
Lewandowski was
Lewandowski
crazy.
should have won the year before.
No one won that year.
No one won that
But
year.
it's about the year.
But
that,
the year that came onto it.
no one was good.
What do you mean? No, he didn't get counted the year before. He got
2020?
excluded.
There was no Ballon d'Or. Messi.
That's
was
not
the
his
but the
one.
year
fault.
following it, Messi
Yeah,
got
Messi
over
won
Lewandowski.
21.
Lewandowski didn't fall off and had like one leg.
The problem.
No, but Messi was better than next year.
No, the problem. No.
You don't think so?
Messi only won it that year because there was no one else clear cut who could beat his legacy.
Yeah, so name.
Messi's legacy won him that award. Messi didn't win him that. Messi didn't
He was the
win that
best player that year.
Huh?
He was the best player that year.
His legacy
Got him,
helped carry that weight.
You're not telling me he's that much better than Lewandowski,
Mo Salah
like-
was nuts that year. I'm pretty sure.
We're forgetting
Like-
that Lewandowski. I know that the year doesn't count,
No, that was the
but he
year
wasn't.
Mi-
He wasn't
that was the year,
bad.
Like Mane was,
Like,
controversial.
Lewandowski was still
yeah.
great that year,
Yeah, like look, I think
and Messi still won it. Like
whether we like it or not, I think it's a reality.
If you
that
win-
there
Again,
is-
what did
that
Lewand-
there is way too much legacy bearing and a player's reputation bearing on who wins the Ballon d'Or. Come on, can we agree with that?
100%.
Yeah, I agree with
you
that.
think it's completely removed?
No,
from
I
their
don't
minds?
think it's completely uprooted from their minds, but I think you guys, again, I'm not saying Haaland shouldn't win it. Probably should. But the way you guys are...
I reverse roles. Had Messi won the treble
Haaland the World Cup.
and Haaland the World Cup, I guarantee you, and I know it's hard to justify this, but I just feel like
Messi,
anecdotally,
gets PSG
you know,
at Champions League. Well,
like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, had he won PSG their first Champions League? You know,
What about Haaland winning Man
had he
City's first
broken
Champions League?
every record, you know, like every goal scoring record
In
and
the
this
Liga
and that,
and Champions
like
League,
one
yeah.
on the treble, it would have been, I think, no debate. Oh, Haaland had a great World Cup from Haaland.
But everyone forgets Man City
is the
can't win the
35-year-old
treble.
GOAT, does it over 9 months,
Yeah,
wins
yeah.
everything, you know, unbelievable. Like,
Yeah, and
I think-
everyone forgets Man City, Champions League bottlers and stuff
yeah.
like this.
And it's also
And he's
like,
the one who won them the
it's
Champions
also
League.
like, okay,
And you're
KDB
forgetting what
is nuts,
Argentina have done
but
with
it's not
Messi
Messi,
there
it's
for
not
the last
Neymar
4
and
World
Mbappe.
Cups.
Look how many stars are on their shirt. It's not like a massive achievement. It's Man City's first ever Champions League. Look
How
at the
many
stars already on his shirt. Look at the Champions League that
That
Man
meant
City have
30
won.
years ago.
It's empty. It's the whole Ronaldo.
That's what I'm
Haaland
saying.
thing.
Nottingham Forest wouldn't be a good achievement for Nottingham Forest to win the Champions League.
Yeah, but it's,
No, it's not that. but
It
it's
is.
more the
It's the exact same thing.
Argentina
Argentina
been
off the
mental.
perch
No, it's
for a
not.
long
No,
It's not,
but
because you
it's-
can't buy success in the World Cup. You can't splash money and suddenly build up a team and a
exactly.
legacy.
It's more
like
the thing
City did
that
in the Prem where they won five of the last 6.
City kept winning the
because
Prem
it's different.
and keep getting short of
Yeah.
Champions League. They buy Haaland.
Like,
What happens
you
there? The
can't
next step gets
spend-
taken.
you
Treble,
can't spend
Champions
money
League.
to attain
He made that impact.
inorganic success in the World Cup. You can only deal with the cards you're dealt, and that's who plays for your country or who has a citizenship, right? And that's why you can't not compare Forest winning the Champions
I
League.
think it's you guys are completely, and I'm ridiculous to say that this is night and day. You guys are acting like this is night and day.
It's not night and day, but the way you're all talking about, I'm having to try to explain it like it is night
Social
and
media
day.
thinks it's night and day.
No.
It's Messi night and day. So
I don't think social media things. I think
No, I actually
social
agree
media
with
is
that.
completely.
I think media heads, like the guys who vote for it.
okay.
No, I think unfortunately the
those-
guys who vote for it think it's night and day. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Lionel Messi once again the guy, But I think it's like in terms of people who okay, look, my feed is all Prem biased.
This
So of course
is-
I'm going to say this.
This
But
to
like,
me, Messi and the Haaland debate is like our debate we just had with Saka and Rashford. It is so close on their it's not a joke. I'm not saying Haaland.
is so close.
It is so close.
It's not close.
You guys you guys don't understand the significance of a World Cup. In the significance of a World Cup, every single player has said it. Ronaldo, Messi, all the players have said
No,
it.
I did
Ronaldo-
say. He
Neymar
said he wanted to
said
keep
they
No,
dropped
Ron-
6 Champions Leagues.
Well,
6
Ronaldo
of
just said
them.
he'll keep
didn't
all of his
we just-
Champions
didn't
League.
Ronaldo say
He'll keep his 5
5?
instead
Yeah,
of
didn't he
winning the
say
World
5?
Cup. So
you haven't seen the lie detector thing?
No.
the
The guy
guys of all
said
time
on
just
truth,
said
truth false or
he said he'll
true or
keep
false,
his
like,
Champions
lie
League
detector
rather
thing.
than for swapping for a
said
World
he'd
Cup.
rather keep his 5 Champions Leagues than a World Cup.
Because you know how crazy that generation, like how crazy that
It's
team
like,
was.
yeah, it's like, okay, a World Cup is good. but there's only so much.
Well,
you
both
know,
Messi.
like,
There's a lot of players that have
'cause-
said otherwise.
Yeah, but
The significance
I
of winning
think
that
you have to
trophy is
deep
still
it.
big
I
as
think
well.
I think you have to deep it. Obviously, you know, players would love to win the World Cup over anything, right? But there's factors that come into it. If you're Ronaldo from Portugal, right, and you have to think about it, like you know, pragmatically, okay, you know, my achievement. I could never win the World Cup.
Okay,
I played
to
for
you
Portugal.
personally-
I could never win
To you
it.
personally,
me
would you
not
rather
winning
win a
it-
treble or a World Cup?
I'd rather win a treble.
Bro, that is would I rather win a World Cup with Australia or win the treble? Of course, I'd rather win it with Australia.
I'm like
Well,
treble
like,
in every
exactly.
week.
No,
Treble
but
in every week, though.
But even that question is dumb though. Like, of
Why is
course,
that a dumb question?
Because
But to
just the way I interpret it, like, oh my god, I could win Australia's first ever World Cup.
Okay, let's say you
like-
could play for a different country. Let's say you could play for Italy, for example, or you could play for Argentina. Would you rather win the World Cup with them?
What I would rather do is irrelevant though.
But to that
But
Ronaldo
I
point
think
thing
it shows.
again.
I think a lot of the population, and we're talking beyond 50%, would see a World Cup as bigger
Hear me out.
than a treble. And if they think
It
the World
is,
Cup,
but because people don't understand the magnitude of a treble.
in terms of what's
But they
harder
do.
to do, but what's more like important to people.
Hear me out though.
but
So
people don't
back to
understand.
the Ronaldo thing, the five. Or name I saying he'll give up whatever 6 whatever trophy.
We're not saying Harlem on 5 either way, so it's
No,
irrelevant.
so
conversation.
would you, like, I would rather have sustained success over like 15, 12 years, winning 5 Champions Leagues, than being great like Harry Kane is, but only winning 1 World Cup. That's
It's a matter of what we value.
But,
It's
that's where you're putting it at. You're saying 1 World Cup, but being
I think
a
you're
great player.
I think you're
but
an,
only
I think
winning-
you're an outlier compared to the normal person here, though.
But why does that matter? Why does that matter?
Because you only a competition is only so big based off what the fans
what
think.
we value compared to what is objectively harder, and we've discussed that winning the
Success
treble is
is
objectively harder.
that winning everywhere.
Winning the treble
over long periods.
is harder. Winning the Premier League treble, right?
But no, but to
harder
Ronaldo's
than winning the
point as
World
well,
Cup.
five Champions League or continued success of winning things continually. We every week on here we talk about Harry Kane not winning things and how much of a disaster we're not winning things.
Yeah.
What about winning 5 Champions League over like 12, being a 12-year dominance, then winning 1 World Cup
100%.
and never winning everything ever again? I would always want to win the 5 Champions League and include maybe a treble in there as a part of that. Why wouldn't you want to win sustained success versus
like-
one tournament where you might have played amazing, but for the rest of your career you always come short. You never win the treble at PSG.
Yeah, but even
never win the
then,
Champions League
though,
at PSG.
whether like you want to win it or not, I think is irrelevant. I think it's objectively what is the Ballon d'Or should be based upon what is the greatest achievement, and the greatest achievement is
I think the
what
Ballon
is the
d'Or-
hardest to achieve, and the hardest to achieve. I think personally, like you know, almost objectively speaking,
In the Premier League as well.
treble winning
the Premier-
winning the Premier League treble
Yeah.
is harder to achieve than winning the World Cup with Argentina.
You put a bit of context in it.
I think it is.
You put a bit of context in it. He comes across, they couldn't win it.
Again,
before.
I think I
He
agree
comes
with you.
across
I
and he
don't think
wins.
again. I don't think again it's by much.
Exactly.
that.
Because he comes across from
Again,
the
I don't think
Farmers
it's
League
much.
to the Premier League, wins the Premier League, gets them
No,
over
I
the
don't
hump
think
of the
it's hate. I
Champions
don't
League.
think it's a hate.
Again,
That's why I'm
again,
saying
I
with
look
you-
at it from the
No,
perspective
I don't
as
think it's a
well,
hate.
though.
I don't think it's
He
a hate.
came. He didn't come and City finished 4th last year.
No, but have they won the
Didn't-
Champions League before?
They got knocked out by Leon. They
Yeah.
got knocked out by Ajax.
Yeah.
and this and that, and
2
Chelsea,
years
and-
ago, they were in the final. Okay.
Yeah, that's a Chelsea.
And they won the Premier last year.
Look at
We're
Chelsea.
talking about a team who was so close to it. He was just the final
Yeah,
product.
and I think you're forgetting
That's the
how big
significance of that.
That's the point. Is that
City couldn't win it.
I think you're forgetting.
Bottomless.
Yeah,
I
like the
don't
whole.
know if they-
I'm
I'm not completely. I think I agree, but I'm not completely convinced they wouldn't have won it if Haaland wasn't there and Alvarez was a striker.
No.
I'm not completely convinced.
They were on the same level with Champions League. To
I
Tottenham
agree.
Premier
And to
League
be
stuff.
fair to you, I think it's a lot different story if Messi isn't there to win the World Cup. I agree with you in that sense.
Yeah.
Do you think if Alvarez? I'm not saying 100%.
But
I think
also just
Haaland
think-
is amazing. But
I just think
if you look at
that
it,
there's a fact. You know, you got to factor in the like. There's multiple factors.
Situation,
You know,
context,
We're comparing one
achievement.
aspect, and then we're comparing a 4-week period to a 9-month period. And I think
pure
that
amazing.
settles it for me.
Yeah.
You know, there's multiple factors. You can
He
look
had
at
2 bad
You
weeks.
can look at winning the World Cup compared to the treble, and even if you think the World Cup's a better achievement than the treble, it's going to be marginal either way you look at it, right?
yeah,
I think
correct.
it's marginal.
It's marginal. I
So,
agree.
so you look at that, and then you look at the other factors. Good over 4 weeks, obviously good over 9 months, but in a much easier standard.
But his achievement
and then
is
good
the
over
4 weeks.
9
That's
months
his
in the
achievement.
best
It's
league
not
in the
his
world.
fault. He's at
No,
PSG.
but that's not the point though. It's like Ronaldo. It's not.
It isn't his
it's
fault. But if he has
like-
Messi and Mbappe next to him,
No,
why
yeah,
isn't he winning?
It's not
things?
his
Neymar
fault.
didn't play the whole
It's
year.
not his fault, but it
the whole
doesn't.
year, like-
It's not
He
his
didn't.
fault,
He
but it's
played
not. It doesn't
all
matter.
year.
Like you know, that doesn't
They
matter.
both
It's
didn't
not
play in
his
the Champions
fault,
League.
but it doesn't matter.
like he was
round of 16.
Haaland scored 55 goals in 55 games for Dortmund, but it wasn't his fault that he played in the German
German
league.
league, yeah,
But
exactly.
he did. Like, you know,
I don't think we did that.
It's not Messi's fault that he plays in MLS and he scores 3 kicks every game and wins every game for
I'm not arguing if Messi continues the way he does, he's going to win the Ballon d'Or next year. I'm not arguing
Messi played in a worse league than Haaland, and yet they put up similar numbers. Haaland put up better numbers in a much harder league, and that has to factor into who wins the Ballon d'Or. Anyway, we're waffling on.
Waffling on. We'll go to some of the Premier League stuff.
Holy crap! What the hell? We
got.
How long have we been recording?
We're at 40 now. At 40 minutes. We've got 2 minutes. We'll go top 5 Prem transfers. We won't go as in deep into all this stuff. I'll get kicked off while you guys get that all sorted out. So starting from the top. I'll go from bottom up.
Yeah, you're 5.
Number 5, Moussa Diaby for me.
I should put a list.
Really influential so far for Aston Villa. I think I probably haven't put him higher though because they haven't won as many games or played as good football as I probably want them to play. At 4, James Ward-Prowse, West Ham revolutionised under him. I was close to putting Alvarez in, but couldn't sort of fit it in. But Ward-Prowse output his assist numbers. And against Brighton, that ball, I think it was over the top to Antonio, like first time intercepts on top to Antonio, he scores. He just feels like he's been meant for sort of a midway club for a while now. So he fits in there nicely. Number 4. Number 3, Declan Rice. I don't care how much he costs. I'm really big on Declan Rice. Obviously, the winner against Man United. Controlled that midfield well. People would say he doesn't get the ball enough, but when you've got Erdegaard and Partey helping in midfield, Zinchenko tucking in as well, you're not going to get many touches as you are at West Ham, but his ability to play 6, he can play 8. He sets the play up for them. He controls the midfield. Arsenal been wanting someone to control in midfield, not just be a defensive stalwart like Partey and Xhaka were. So he's an improvement on those two. So he's at number 3 for me. Number 2, Dominic Szoboszlai. Awesome so far this year. A lot of questions about Liverpool's midfield. I think you guys at the start of the year weren't too happy about their structure, and I'm still not sold on it. But for me, he stood out as the best in that new midfield 3. He's used to playing the right attacking mid, so out right, but he's had to tuck in a bit more centrally. Players an 8, players a 10, sort of adjusting between those 2 roles there. But when they have the ball, he looks so talented on the ball, driving, dribbling, creating space and opportunities. And that goal against Villa was nuts as well. And then number 1, I think it picks itself for everyone. James Maddison, freedom, left, right. He just sort of roams around in behind the striker. I don't know how score involvement's had so far, but every game feels like he's on the score sheet or assisting. Yeah. So he's the biggest part of that Spurs revival. So he's number 1 for me.
So your list quickly 5 to 1?
Diaby, Ward-Prowse, Rice, Szoboszlai, and then Maddison. Okay. And Timber for me is my dark horse because we didn't see much of him.
I'll start with my special mention that doesn't make it, and I'll go Timber as well. Like I think he'd definitely be on this list if he's not going to be injured for the next 9 months.
Yeah, if it looked like he was going to play a more pivotal part in the year.
Yeah, like he just doesn't. He's not going to do anything. Like
it's a very tough loss, man.
Yeah. 5, very controversial, but I think after watching 20 minutes...
this is fair enough.
And after watching 20 minutes of the United-Arsenal game and looking at the game, this statement I'm going to make here is actually night and day. The difference of Martial and Højlund up there. Oh, it was night and day between the two of them.
Martial looked so...
I don't know if that... I'm not sure if I'm crediting Højlund...
or discrediting
Martial here. Like... probably a bit of both. Martial was probably terrible, and Højlund was a bit of like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. He's just a different dynamic, I think, up top for us. Something we really haven't had since Ronaldo's left, and even with Ronaldo was never really. He was a poacher. At the end of his career because he was just like
situation,
and it also feels like you're addressing an area which needed to be addressed. Yeah. So like, look, assuming he comes good on the trajectory you think he will, then obviously it'll be a great signing.
Yeah, it's a great signing. For Szoboszlai, he's just been excellent. I wanted to put him higher up on the list, but I think
got some talent.
The top 3, like specifically, I think I've done money.
Oh my God, your list is...
I've done like what they've done. Value, like what they've done for the team. That's fair. For the team, if you like, I'll explain it in the next one. So then 3, I've gone Ward-Prowse, which is like what I'm trying to explain. Like you look at them last year, at this point in time, they probably would have been on about 4 points.
Pre-season, they're going to sign players.
They're going to be. At this point in time, if they were doing good, I would say they'd be on 4 points. Yep. For the fact they'd be on 10, obviously it's not just him. They brought in Alcaraz as well. So they've been like heaps, like a few late signings, something that
late signing.
I pulled the rabbit out of the hat.
You pulled it out of the hat.
But yeah, so I think that's like one thing. Like you look at his price, number 1, and then you look at the impact he's had on the team. Like it's been like that's definitely again we're gonna use again night and day.
Yeah.
How many times is that gonna be said today?
Yeah.
Then
you're
two
the only one
Diaby.
saying it.
Two Diaby.
Right.
Like, there's been a couple of games. Obviously, he's gone a little bit quiet. When I say a couple, I think it's about one still. But he's looked excellent. Like even in that first game against Newcastle, they lost 5-1, but he was electric. Yeah. He was electric. He looks like he's got a like the capability to finish his product. He's fast. Like my understanding of Diaby before he came to the Prem was he was really technically gifted, fast, but I thought he lacked the finished product. Like
You thought it was a bit like a Leon Bailey again.
Same situation, yeah.
I
thought he does. Like, he'll do all the hard work. He'll get into great positions.
We've
but
had a
then
lot
he'll
of
be
those in the Premier, like Bailey.
Yeah,
not,
there's a
not
lot
all
of them.
from Germany,
There's
but
a
like
lot of
Bailey,
them.
Pepe, like
Yeah,
Anthony,
they do.
all these guys.
They do so, like you'll see them. They'll take it down the line. They'll cut inside. He'll cut in onto his left. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, they're usually good on one foot.
Really,
Love a step
really
over.
quick. But like he seems like I know it's early on.
He's been
but
playing central. He looks
yeah,
good.
he seems like he's got a finished product. Like if he gets the ball in the 18-yard box, he looks like he'll put it
Nah,
away.
he can finish.
He's a free roamer as well.
And
Yeah.
then one is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think anyone's even like.
Oh, he's not my one.
I want to hear that.
But come on, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
address this.
he's got a bit of the Arsenal.
So who is your number one? You haven't said it.
Madison.
Yeah, nah, look.
Actually, an Arsenal
It's a good
fan
call.
saying
It's a
Madison,
good
but
call.
say, yeah,
It's a
it's
good
a
call.
bro.
I will.
So-
go.
So I got two special mentions now. I got the Villa boys. I got Diaby
I'm Power.
and I got Pau Torres.
Pau, yeah.
And I think the Pau Torres one
Pau
hasn't
Torres.
come into like fruition yet.
Because they keep changing the back.
Well, only because like they haven't looked nuts defensively, Villa.
No.
You know, they've conceded
Yeah.
a few goals, but I think now that Mings has unfortunately got injured,
Yeah.
Pau Torres is going to
Locked in.
be locked in on the left. I would assume. You know, he's obviously Unai Emery's boy.
Yeah.
I think he was defender of the year last year in La Liga.
It would have been something
not sure.
I think I've seen.
I think he might have been.
I'll start checking.
I think he had maybe I've made that up completely, but I think he had he's had
He
a
definitely
great
had a good
great couple of
years.
years. He's had a really good
Yes,
couple of years. So I
that's
think he
for
had a really good year.
I don't know
last
about
year.
that.
Anyway, so he's my special mention. Maybe I'm wrong there.
Yeah.
But regardless,
I
and
don't
so
think
yeah,
you're
so
right
in my
there.
5, no, I don't think I'm wrong necessarily. In my 5, this one hasn't even touched the pitch yet for Liverpool, but I've gone Gravenberch because I think in theory he's gonna do what I think he's gonna do, where he's gonna play it as like an 8, and it's gonna allow because we all think that Liverpool are gonna play really attackingly, right? If he plays as an 8, I think McAllister can sit as like a deep lying, ball playing 6.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good. I think he's good at playing the long balls. And then also Boslar can play around. They have a lot of guys who I think can rotate through that midfield.
Yeah.
So I think, moves on to my 4, which is Szoboszlai. So I think, Liverpool's revamped midfield, although it looks really attacking, I think we can see them. I think it's a major improvement on where they ended off last year. And it's a very different looking midfield in terms of like being really attacking.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see a lot of goals created out of that midfield. So I like those two at 5 and 4. 3, I've got Ward-Prowse, same as you. I just think my expectation for West Ham was so low,
on the floor.
and I actually I can't think of like a more suited signing under like a David Moyes system, and in a team which historically has found it hard to put the ball in the net. He's got free kicks, he's got set pieces, and they got some tall centre backs. They got some good.
They've already scored a few set pieces.
They got some good headers.
Set pieces, yeah.
Like they got Souček in there, so if he can, if these guys can have good delivery, which Ward-Prowse is a gem at, then they're going to be scoring heaps of goals. I think it's just so suited to that West Ham team. In 2, I've got Maddison, just because it's kind of self-explanatory. My one, so
Basmati's
in 2, I've got Maddo, and number 1, I've got Declan Rice.
Yeah, I want to.
The reason for this is that,
I know.
I'm usually really aligned with the value thing. Like I usually base my decisions on that. I'm like, so it's pretty biased. Like I'd be like, Caicedo, great signing, but 110 mil, so he's not going in. Whereas for me, I can make exceptions, right? I'm going to say
There's
I make exceptions.
always an exception to the rule.
So Declan Rice gets in because even though I think he wasn't value, right? I think he probably went for what he's worth, maybe even overs, because I think they're all inflated. I think he's just like such a pivotal. He was just a player that needed to come into our team, and you can move you can sort of move mountains and make exceptions. Like when Liverpool made an exception for Mo Salah's wage a couple years ago. Sometimes you just have to make exceptions for the sort of generational players And I think Declan Rice is going to be
Yeah.
that. He's still young, you know, but he's already showed that, he's already given us points against that goal against you guys. He literally got us 3 points in that game, right? Or 2 more points. So it's like, I think although Matto looks like the value signing, and looks like he's been playing a pivotal role in that team under Ange. I think I can make an exception here. My little bias will come out for Declan Rice, and look, I think he'll be a pivotal point in our team this year. I think he's going to win the league. So
pick up Deggy. Pick up the Basmati.
That's my boy.
Yeah, I don't even think I want to
Pick
argue
up
that one.
Basmati. Nah, look, it's obviously biased, but then again, I also think it could definitely be number one.
It could be, yeah. Not at this.
At the end of the season, I think you might be. If you win the league.
I think it depends so much on where this team's end the year.
Yeah.
Like obviously, this is our
Tottenham finish top
current.
four,
When
Madison's
we
number one,
look back at the signing of the season sort of thing.
Yeah.
If Arsenal win the league and Declan Rice plays 38 games, 90 minutes in each game,
That's 1A.
I think it's going to be pretty hard to look beyond that. You know what I mean? But
He's a
obviously,
one
this
big
depends.
change, right? Yeah.
Like if Vardy was a center, a staple in City's team from here on, they win the league, they win the treble again. Like he didn't even wasn't even a mention. I think that's because we all look at City and think, oh my god, how many centre backs do you need?
It's 'cause
90 mil
almost-
there.
It's just another 95
It's just
mil.
like
I don't think it'll make a difference to their team. Even if
that's
they win
the
the Prem again,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have made.
Let's say
I
they
think
lose 4 centre backs and he plays every minute.
There's
Like
an
obviously,
improvement there with
you
Rice,
look
obviously,
at-
with you guys.
You look at City
100%.
signings, quickly at City signings. They literally just switched in. So like,
Yeah.
Gundogan left,
One out,
Kovacic in,
yeah.
Laporte's out, Gvardiol's in,
Gvardiol.
and Doku's in, and Mahrez out. They
Mahrez out.
literally,
Doku was a really interesting signing.
he's not really a pep player.
He's more like
He's Sane, he's Sterling. who
Well,
they
he's
shipped
more
away.
like what we think of, like when we're talking about like Diaby and like we think of like these sort of
there's
direct
no
runners,
no way
like
Doku's
quick.
got a finished product. I don't think he needs to because like he's just got.
I haven't watched much Doku. I've seen obviously him in the
World Cup
international,
stuff,
international stage. I've seen more Doku than I have like obviously
Yeah.
at oh my god, what was his team?
God,
Anderlecht. He
Anderlecht.
played for Anderlecht.
Was it Anderlecht?
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure there was an old club. I don't think he was at
Yeah,
Anderlecht.
no, he was at one of the. He was in France or.
No,
yes,
bro.
He
was in
Yeah,
Belgium.
Stade
bro.
Rennais. He was at Stade Rennais.
No, you're lying. Oh my god.
No, he was in
I swear I saw a
He did not come straight to Man
swear I
City
saw
from-
a Lukaku post today saying Lukaku told him not to go from Anderlecht thing. Anyway, maybe this was last year. But look, the point. Anyway,
I'm
the
searching this
point
up.
is that
It's progression of Pep,
like,
right?
yeah, it's like not necessarily a pet player. But I think we've seen Pep throughout the years. Like he's not afraid to change it up,
Tinks a
and
few things,
he's always kind of trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What are you doing with that? Let's go with our best and worst teams of the window. I'll get us kicked off.
2018.
No, he was at Rennes.
Yeah,
Is that Stade Rennes?
he left by the end
He
like in
played
2020.
No, I'm
Oh my
saying, look,
god.
75 games, 10
That's-
goals.
I'm a casual. I'm
75
gonna
games,
get
10
slammed.
goals.
Don't post that on TikTok.
Yeah, ball knowledge exposure for the
75 games, 10
Bro, I'm
goals.
a Prem merchant.
Yeah, that's what
my point.
we do, Prem.
75 games.
10 goals.
Yeah, okay, well, sounds a bit like Hoyson.
A bit like it, man.
Not really. What had?
9 goals in 38 games.
No, he played 28.
Ninja.
So, best window. I'm gonna go
Best window?
with
Okay.
Tottenham, just because of again my expectations were quite low for them. I thought they didn't have enough signings, but Vicario looks like a good get with his feet, like a ball playing keeper. He's nuts. He's similar to Onana as well. He just
schizo.
takes things on. He's a schizo.
Scares me.
Van der
He
Ven,
scares me.
Van der Ven's gone under the radar. I think I feel like he's one of the
100%,
better signings. Ball playing centre back. He's playing in the back too. I said in one of the last videos, the fullback's so high, it's actually 2 on 2 at times, especially at Burnley. That goal comes from them playing basically 2 on 2 at the back there. Obviously, Madison, we talked about him previously. And they're all like Ange. Udogie across as well. Like, they're all Ange signings, which are like, they have freedom to play the way they want to play.
Actually, was Udogie signed this window? He went straight back out on loan last
He
year.
came back.
He was a
brought him
Conte
back
player
from
because he's a
loan.
wing back. He's a wing back
Yeah.
historically. So yeah, then he
But
went to.
he signed players for a back
Sassuolo.
four, right?
Yeah.
Signed players that fit the back
Yeah,
four,
100%.
fit the 4-2-3-1 sort of thing. He's made a big, obviously, move with moving Solomon in the team as well, signing him from Fulham and then putting him in the team, chucking out Richarlison. So I think the signings all being successful. They're top 4 at the moment, so you can't really at the current point of time, for me, they've got the best window. And the worst, I think it's Everton. They've got rid of like
Oh, we're doing a
Iwobi.
worse as well. Okay.
Iwobi, like their best player. They've shipped him off. They lost Amari Gray as well. He wasn't that great, but
Let me go next because I need.
I just feel like though they haven't progressed. Their talent's probably gotten worse. They get Jack Harrison, they get Beto. They're not any improvements.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're just destined just for like 17th or 18th. Like there's no improvement in that squad at all talent wise.
Okay, well I'm gonna.
I've got mine if you want me to go.
I feel like I'm gonna sound. It's gonna be.
You want me to go?
You can get the same team.
Firstly, I don't. Can you say Arsenal? Because I don't want to say Arsenal again. Because everyone's going to think I'm like...
No, say Arsenal. Say Arsenal.
No, but it's in like...
I want to go first because I've got out there.
You're going to say West Ham.
And then who am I
And you're going to say Wolves.
Wrong.
It was West Ham, right?
Yeah. Who's the other one?
Ooh.
Man United.
You can't say United.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. Because I was going to... of all people who was going to say United, I was going to say United.
No, I was going to... That's all.
And then I was thinking, you signed Hoyes. Like,
no, I'm going... I'll go with my United.
Yeah.
It's actually... I've got some like...
Well, we know how much you like West
backing
Ham.
here of what I'm going to say. So I'll go with United first, and I'll do my little spiel on West Ham for my 5-second spiel. On West
Are they
Ham.
like your new cult team? Like,
Just
B team.
I'll tell you why United. So at the end of the
His
window,
B team.
at the end of the window, like it's looked all right. All right, not good.
How would you rate it out of 10? If they're going to be the worst window, come on. Like, worst
Out of
window
10?
in the...
3 out of 10.
What, you
The
think
only thing-
teams...
I'll tell you why. Let me talk.
3.
Okay, I look at things like the Amrabat deal. That should have been done 2 months ago.
Yep.
Okay, it is done, but I look at this is what I look at it personally as. We obviously only had a certain amount to spend this year because we ended up getting Amrabat on the loan and only got him on a loan because we wouldn't spend 20 mil for him. So we had a certain amount to spend, obviously because the Glazers are trying to leave him, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna think I'm a.
Just speaking on the
Everyone's
Glazers
gonna think I'm an idiot.
I saw the Glazers reached $1 billion debt.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah,
to the
well,
Glazers.
Not necessarily a horrible thing, but $1 billion is quite...
That's a lot of money.
If we had a certain amount to spend, there were certain positions we need to fill. And I think we've only filled, and you're going to go, one position that we had to, that was a disgrace last year. And that was the striker position with Hoyland. I think Onana is a very, very good signing, but I think it's 6 months or a year too early if we don't have the funds. I think if we don't have the funds...
Oh, it's because you're a De Gea fanboy.
No, it's not about being a De Gea. I don't think we needed to... Okay, we did need to,
no,
but
maybe-
there was bigger signings, Flynn. There was bigger signings if we didn't have the money. Apparently, we don't have the money. We didn't get a
what do you
centre back
mean?
in.
Okay.
The only thing is the situation right now as well is
I don't
not
rate
helping
this.
it
I don't rate
because of all like the injuries and all this like the
But I
bloody
don't... No, but I'm not,
sexual assault
Onana's
stuff.
good, and
You
Onana
signed
will
a
be good.
striker,
Onana
You
is
signed
great
a centre mid,
for the
and you
rest of
signed a keeper. I hear what you're saying.
I think the
I
amount
just
of money could have
don't
been
know.
spent better.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my biggest issue.
So that's
not-
that
money
doesn't make it a
Getting
3 out of
Mount
10 though.
in I think it's more like a 5 or a 6.
You spend that money on 20 million on Amrabat and then
I look at
loan
stuff
someone
like
else in.
Hoyland couldn't play until match week 4. I look at stuff
Who do you
like...
want to sign them? What? Like
You
were
just
so big
don't
on
sign him because
Hoyland.
of,
You were so big.
yeah,
on
you
him.
have to
No,
sign.
he's a good signing. I'm just saying in stuff like... Then Amrabat, how that went away. Mount, I don't even know
3.
about that one.
You're a
The
greedy
only-
United fan. 3 for this window.
Yeah,
Are you
it's
serious?
harsh.
How
I
much?
think the context right now just hurts it because obviously
How much?
so many
How
people
much
out.
was Hoyland?
Flynn, if we had 75.
How much?
Yeah,
So he was 75. Mount was.
55.
No, I thought it was
55.
Okay, let's even just say 55.
He was
So,
only
so we're at 130. We're at 130.
Yeah.
How much was Onana?
50.
No.
50.
Onana was 50.
I think
Nah,
it's
he
under as
wasn't,
well.
it was 40.
No, it's 50 and then plus some add-ons as well.
It's 40.
Okay.
The add-ons
I'm gonna
make
I'm
it.
No,
gonna,
no, no,
I'm
it is
gonna
definitely-
say
I did it
40.
last week.
I'm
I did
gonna
research
say
last week.
40
It's definitely 50.
for argument's sake. I'll say 40 mil.
He's definitely 50. I did the
So
research
you're at
last week.
170.
Which is fine. I'm not having a problem with
Okay.
that. I'm saying,
Okay. 170
I'm
mil.
saying
You're
we
at
should have
170
spent
mil.
it better if we knew
You're
we
at
had that
170 mil.
much.
How much was Amrabat going to be? 20. He's going to be 20.
2025, yeah.
You guys are nearly at 2. You're nearly at 200 mil spent of positions you bought. You needed. You're giving it a 3.
But I'm saying I'm
spent
saying
200 mil.
I'm saying there's,
I
I'm saying
think it's higher
there's
than
better
3,
places.
but like,
I'm not having a problem with this.
What do you
I'm
mean
not,
better play?
If
If
we-
we signed.
we definitely should have done. I'm not saying if you knew like just stuff like the Maguire incident is stuff that annoyed them. The McTominay incident.
There was some
I'm not
questionable
talking about
business.
This is the one window where I'm actually not having a go at the money we've been given. I'm talking about how the money's being spent. This is actually me flipping it because I've
but
always
still,
been. I've been big
three's
on.
harsh.
I've
Three's
been big
harsh.
on the Glazers. I've been big on the Glazers and going, oh, it's not about how the money's spent. This is the one window where I go, the money's spent and the deals.
So whose fault is that, by the way?
That's
Who
got
at
to
the
be on the
club?
coach. Got to be on the manager.
Yeah, bro.
Gotta be on the
Oh, that's
manager.
right. Yeah,
He's gotta
Ten
be on the
Hag,
manager.
though.
I think it
10
is on
fraud.
Ten Hag, but I also think it's on what's his name.
because what's his name? Now he wants to sign. What's his name? El Ghazi. He wants to sign El
No, he
Ghazi.
doesn't. That's
Yes,
what
he
Bru-
does.
No,
Yes,
he
he does.
doesn't.
You haven't seen this. It's everywhere. He wants to sign El
Fabrizio
Ghazi
came
on a
out
free.
and said it's
No.
crap.
Yes, man. El
Fabrizio
Ghazi.
came out and said
on
it's
a
crap.
free-
If he signs him, that'd be a
Fabrizio
joke.
came out and said it was crap.
Domestic violence and Getafe. They're both gone. So
The Anthony Greenwood link up, then link
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
You know
you're
the problem with this Anthony thing is they say he's like, oh, he's going on like he's on leave at the moment, but like if you look it back and you compare it to the Greenwood thing, this ain't going to get sold for
no,
18 months.
He's cooked. Anthony's cooked.
He's cooked.
You reckon he'll never play again for the club as well?
No. I think he will. I think he will. So I don't think he'll get found guilty. I think if it's not in it,
Because he's like 18 months, he probably won't play.
But I do worry that I'm skeptical about how.
Because how do they bring him back? What are they going to do?
does
It's a month is gone. How do they bring him back?
I feel so
standard
bad
is
for
not
these guys
set.
though. Not Greenwood, but like Benjamin Mendy, and
Bro, and interview where Anthony
I'm
was bawling his eyes out.
I'm going to assume innocent before proven guilty. For the sake because if I get come 20
You
years
see Anthony,
later.
that interview where he was bawling his eyes out. He's like, I'm innocent.
I know, but
there's WhatsApp.
A lot of emotions can run through
Did
your
you
head.
see
if
the
you've made a
United?
mistake.
I didn't read them, but did you see United put out the WhatsApp messages
Did that shit.
Of who?
of Greenwood? Let me see if I don't know if they're in
They
English.
can't have done that. They can't have
Nah,
done
apparently got released to the press or something. To the
that. From United, they can't be releasing
no,
something like
United
that.
Stand put it out.
Oh, do you not understand? Jesus. Okay, yeah. Goldbridge getting his clicks.
Goldbridge.
Goldbridge getting his clicks.
Here we go.
Being Sideman charity match manager wasn't
the
enough.
manager. He wasn't.
I don't know. Do you want me to read this?
Oh my god, no, that's.
Let's skip over. Let's skip over.
Let's
Too
go.
much,
But there's a whole trend,
Oh
the whole
my
WhatsApp
god. Oh my
trend.
god.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
let's
say.
let's not do that.
Between-
Can I just read one line? I'll give my live reaction.
I haven't even read it to see if
Live.
he's that means he's innocent or what that means.
Live.
Yeah.
Shocked. What do you call it? A thumbnail. Thumbnail. No, get in. But oh my god, what is this, bro? This is.
Probably just waffle, but yeah.
Seas, man.
All right, so you got United as 3. Now, what's the best? This got the best. We're stuck in United every week. I feel like.
West Ham. What are you giving them out of 10, firstly?
Is West Ham 10 out of 10?
8, 9? Come on. Not West Ham, almost 10. That's like kudos as well.
9.5.
Yeah, fair.
So,
And
on
it
that,
would-
what would you
I'll
give
tell you
yours?
why it's not a 10.
Before you explain, what would you give yours out of 10?
So Tottenham. I'll probably give Tottenham an 8.5. Solid.
I'll tell you why mine isn't a 10.
Hold
There's
on.
only one reason.
Bruh.
Everton 2. Like
Okay,
Everton,
yeah, shocking,
Yeah,
yeah.
they've got actually young mate. It sucks.
I'll tell you why my West Ham's not a 10 and it's 0.5.
You want
the
Maguire to
signings
move
were late.
across. Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah, but you know what? They weren't even as late. They actually all got to play in the end.
Yeah, they all got to play.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying they still were late to a degree.
Definitely, yeah.
Like I think the first game
It
was
must-
the one they drew, correct?
Yeah, they didn't have anyone there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You know what it must have been? It must have
That
been
could
on
be
United.
on
It must have been on Maguire's end because they must have been waiting to pay Maguire's wage. Or not the big
you
full
reckon they
wage.
would have only done Maguire if it was Maguire? Or
No,
Maguire
not
McTominay?
only just on Maguire, but they're probably waiting to see how much they needed to pay him, and that's why everything was so late.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
that's my big thing on United though. I think the Maguire McTominay thing, like, surely you're Man United. Surely you can get players out to your club and sell your players.
What do you mean,
Surely you're
bro?
not getting
Not with those
held
wages.
What do you mean?
hostage
It's
by
not,
players.
yeah, it's like the opposite. You're Man
None of those
United. You
200
can't sell anyone because you're giving everyone like 300 grand too much.
That's exactly the reason.
What?
that's
Everyone's-
that's the
they're
opposite.
part
That's the
of it.
opposite.
They sign a contract.
You
I'm
can't
Harry
just
Maguire.
cancel it.
I'm going to sign.
But that's
a
their problem.
200K
Bro. That's their
contract
problem like 2 years
for
ago when
5
they did
years.
it. And that's why I'm making this a bad window. Because they should have sold him. The mistake.
I don't know. That's definitely a valid reason, but I don't get the point of saying you're Man United. How can you sell it? What do you mean, bro?
But I'm
we
saying
are
that-
the exact same in terms of selling.
saying,
We are horrible.
You
man.
had a bad
we are
run. Yeah.
shocking, man. Pepe on a free. What?
Yeah, and didn't you pay out his contract as well or something like that?
I don't think we would have paid it out because like
We
we're
whipped it out.
allowing him to go to Trab's sponsor or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
Turkey.
But like, man,
It annoys
how
me with
Nicolas
Southgate.
Pepe can go on a free. I was looking at his stats: 112 games, 50.
For Arsenal, for 112 games.
Yeah.
Well, Marshall put thread for United, and you guys were shocked when I said
Yeah.
that.
Pepe
112.
hasn't hardly been
and he had
around.
50 goal contributions in 112. That's not even that
back end-
bad,
the back end
bro.
of COVID
In
wasn't
the-
even that
in
bad,
the amount of in the amount of games that he got subbed on, he took 9 goals, 9 games.
Yeah, but
to
he's
get
got a
goal.
lot of cup goals and assists. I
Goals
remember
are
he's got
goals.
2
But
in
like
the Europa
goals,
League.
Yeah, but it's
today,
like,
like-
so, you know, you're looking at Rashford's 30, you should,
Yeah.
you know, walk in the bloody Ballon d'Or. And he scored 17 in the Prem. He scored 13.
And we
not
went
in
deep
the
in
Prem.
every single
Like-
competition. We went to 2
Like, come
finals
on,
and
like, you know,
quarters. So
I
like,
get what you're saying, but it's in like
sheer
50
number
goals-
of games.
50 goals and assists in 112 games is not that bad.
It's better than
A
most
goal or
United
assist
forwards
in
at the
every
moment.
second game is pretty okay.
He'll probably give
considering
him
biggest flop in Prem history. Absolute joke, mate.
Oh, no,
Absolute
he's
scam.
nowhere near the biggest
He
flop.
just
Anyone
clocked out at a
actually
time
watches
when
any
no one
ball-
else moved across.
Yeah, anyone actually watches any ball understands that Pepe was actually decent. He just doesn't fit in enough.
But I
Well, at
texted
this
you
moment in
69.
time, Modric is the biggest flop in Premier League history.
That's stiff, but yeah.
Let's get on to yours, Finn. What are your,
Okay,
your
sorry.
winners and your best and worst team of the?
I'm gonna do my worst. I'm leaning towards Everton as well. I'm also leaning towards like Wolves.
Wolves
I
have done
just think
stuff
don't think
all that.
Wolves did. Who did Wolves sign?
Other than Cunha on like a permanent.
Yeah, so they already had Cunha the way.
Yeah, they just
And they
paid
kept
for him.
him.
Like they
Look, keeping him is good, But I just don't think. I just think that there's so many holes in their team. Like the striker position is, like one losing Loptegi.
Yeah,
it's like a bad way to start.
But your boy Gary O'Neill's there, so it's all good.
Gaz, nah, not my boy. Just Bournemouth hater, not Gary O'Neill fanboy.
You know what? It's hard to get confused sometimes.
But so I look. I think Wolves had a pretty poor window. I just think in terms of like little activity, they got rid of obviously that what's his name left on a free.
Matinho, Neves all go.
Losing Neves is massive and not reinvesting it. And then obviously they lost. What's his name?
Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez went.
That's the core of your team.
I know he wasn't like on playing amazing or anything. I think he scored 1 goal last year, but it's more so in the sense that they didn't replace Jimenez last year, and unfortunately the freak accident happened. That's really unfortunate for them. But they had 50 mil from Neves, which they didn't reinvest. Yeah. And that's very
They paid to Cunha, but because they paid 55 for him. So
or they reinvested, but they didn't spread it like they probably needed to. Yeah. And I know they got some players back from loan. I think they got what's his name back from loan. Striker.
Now you're testing me.
I've lost it. I've lost the ball. Anyway, so we'll give him probably like a 2, 1 or 2. I think that's a pretty ball window. Yeah. And then look, I'm always talking about this club, but I'm gonna give Arsenal. Actually,
no, you can think.
No. Okay. If you asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have given Arsenal. So I got my second one if it's not them. 3 weeks ago, I would have given Arsenal.
I know what you're gonna say now.
No. But and I rate all the signings. I have it I think will come good.
Come good, right? Yeah.
Rice good, Timber really good, Davray really good. It's more about the exits. So like Tierney on a loan to Sociedad.
Such a weird move.
When we lose Timber, Zinchenko's so injury prone. Tommy Asu can play on the left, but he's injury prone. So I was a bit like, didn't rate that. Yeah. Especially considering I thought we might go and get someone else, but we didn't. And then obviously our selling is horrible. Like the Pepe thing sucks. So like I think if it was before, had we sold these guys well, had we at least found replacements, cheaper replacements for Tierney and stuff, I maybe would have given like a 9 almost. Yeah. I think our signings are perfect in the sense that I think we replaced to really essential spots.
Yeah, and you got better.
Got better. But I think our selling and our exit strategy sort of probably knocks us down 1 or 2. So probably give like a 7. So if it's not Arsenal, I'll give it to West Ham. I think West Ham. Ended up having a really, really good window.
Dispersed the money, right?
Did they have? They got Alcaraz.
Kudos.
They got a whole new midfield. Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Kudos, and then the Mavropanos at centre back.
Yeah. Mavropanos is alright.
He'll just bench warm for them.
He's a bit of depth. Yeah. But are we missing someone?
Who did he play for before?
He played for Arsenal a couple years ago.
Was he like? Did he get games?
No, never. He played.
Was he Arsene?
Yeah, he was Arsene. No, left under Unai. Okay. But look, probably can't play a couple of
He's only Greek guy player. I remember you guys
big, tall Greek guy. Dinos Mavropanos, and then he went to Germany. He played for one of the blue and white ones, not Schalke.
Berlin, Hertha Berlin.
No. Or maybe Hertha.
Hertha Berlin, yeah.
Not Union, maybe Hertha.
Yeah.
I forget, but then he played in Germany for a little bit, and he obviously showed a little bit. But I think he got signed on a $4 million deal. Anyway, so look, I think in terms of reinvesting the money, I think we're sort of yet to see like Kudos' best or whatever he can produce or whatever. But I think Ward-Prowse is a great signing, and Alcaraz is obviously really good as well. So are we missing anyone from West Ham?
Sean Moore from Cliftonville.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, so it was Sean Moore.
Mavropanos was expensive.
Alvarez,
he was $4 million.
Mavropanos and Kudos.
How much was Mavropanos? I swear it was like $4 million.
I don't know if it's got the amount written on here.
Maybe it was like 20. Maybe we got $4 million in our release in our like sell-on clause
from that.
Maybe that's what it was.
He gave him Stuttgart.
Maybe it was 20. Yeah, Stuttgart.
Nah,
Stuttgart.
I'm convinced it was like 22, 23.
No, maybe like 20. Yeah, maybe right. But and look, special mention Chelsea. I think
it's going to come good.
I think they cleared out. Yeah. They got a good manager. They cleared out a little bit. And they did make good signings. Nicholas Jackson obviously really good. Lavia and Caicedo. Unfortunately, Lavia's injured. But Caicedo.
Does Lavia play though?
He's injured.
Does he play?
No, not all the time.
Enzo's looking to leave as well now, apparently.
Yeah.
He's sick of losing.
Since Enzo's been there.
He's won 1 game.
He hasn't been higher than 12th.
Yeah, it's nuts. Big old Enzo Fernandez, World Cup young boy, whatever, winner, whatever you got.
That's nuts. Anyway, there's a couple of teams.
All right. Like in terms, I know he
He's
played
their
all
he's their
right.
best-
Unfortunately, Chelsea ones
he's
like,
their best
will
player
never,
in a rubbish
won't
team.
ever justify their price tag.
Yeah.
Because they overpay. But Enzo's been all right. Enzo's been
Yeah,
Take the price out of it. He's probably their best midfielder last year and this year.
They
Probably
have
this
a
year.
nuts midfield, man. What?
You got Enzo, you
Caicedo.
got Caicedo, Lavia, Gallagher's playing out against
Kunku
Sweden at the
is
moment, and
fit.
Kunku comes in.
You know, Chukwuemeka's 19.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was so young.
They
he
bought
was.
him from Villa at like 16. So that's like, I don't know how that's even legal, but yeah. And then just finish us off. I'm going to talk about this guy. The most surprising player you've been most happy with, like how they performed. I'm just going to go with Tayo one year because that guy's like killing it.
Just like in general.
Just in general, just like yeah, there's a big
Tayo
transfer.
1 year, yeah.
Like he's got
Had
3
a great
goals,
back into last year, but he's been
and then the
nuts, yeah.
assists to Alanga at Chelsea. Like I think it's underrated that he nicks the ball back, and then the pass is like perfect. Like Alanga didn't have to break stride, 1-touch goal.
Yeah.
And for Nottingham Forest, they're sitting in like 8th at the moment, nice spot, and it's because of big results and big games. They haven't played great football yet, but you think a Chelsea game, he's influential in that goal. He scores the first goal. I know Old Trafford ended up losing, but he scores a goal there. He scores a goal against the 2-1 win against Sheffield United. Like he's scoring in games that they need to get these points. So I think for him and Forest, I was big on them coming good in this season.
I think we all
They've
were.
got a few deadwood pieces out. They've reinvested again really, really nicely, but they'll come good under Steve Cooper. And I think the way he plays, the way he's playing, and as you said, like from last year to this year, he just keeps improving. We're one of those like Tony strikers this year again, which were like not the big 6, not a bit of a different decision, but he might get up to 10 to 12 goals.
Who
this
you
year.
going?
I've got a duo,
Yeah,
and I've got a Tottenham central midfield duo.
I like this.
Yeah, so I've got Bissouma and
Okay, but soon
Cisse.
good shout.
Yeah,
I'll say good shout.
Refound themselves.
So I've got obviously more probably from Bissouma than Cisse. Like we knew that he had this ability in recent years. Like obviously fell out of favour last year. But they've just rejuvenated the whole midfield. Like you were talking before, Tottenham bringing in all these signings, but they had 2 of them at the club who both of them last year didn't get a game. So when you add in, and I was actually really big on, they got to sign midfielders. And obviously they went and signed Maddison, which they don't have a 10 at the club. So they needed that. But Andrew's come in and gone, what do I actually have? And he's found those 2 boys.
He's retooled very
and
well.
probably easier to see Bissouma than it is to see Cisse. Cisse's obviously he came over last year. He's a quite young player. He's a talent, but you didn't realise he would do this. Bissouma, it was all about getting him back into how he was playing. But
Yeah, but Suma was so weird last year.
How it
Got
didn't work under
signed.
Conte.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
didn't play at all.
He's such a Conte signing.
It was such a good signing as well in the sense of it was a 25 million.
Yeah, and it was almost like
He's a better.
he was,
what's his name?
Caicedo.
No,
but he
He's
was
exact same.
he was viewed better than Caicedo.
Caicedo, yeah.
Who was the Chelsea DM, the French
equally
DM?
is good.
Who was the Chelsea DM that he had?
Bakayoko.
Bakayoko. He's a better version of Bakayoko. That's what he is. He's because he brought him in at Chelsea as well.
He's a lot better version
a
of
lot better than
but
Bakayoko.
Conte bought in Bakayoko at Chelsea. It's the exact same as Basuma.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he
I'm
did,
sure
he
it was
did.
sure
Yeah,
so-
from
yeah,
Milan.
he did.
So I don't know
went to
why it
Milan.
didn't
Went to
work.
Milan.
He's a better ball carrying.
Yeah, I'm
Bakayoko.
not sure, but that whole that
I know,
whole
but
way
why-
of Ange's
why didn't it work? I don't get the Basuma
I
and
think
Conte.
those 2 there holding down the midfield, but it's like each of them are if you actually watch how Tottenham plays, always one of them at a time, and it doesn't actually matter.
holds
It
in
doesn't
and-
actually matter which one,
Yeah.
but one of them pushes and the other one stays. It's probably a little bit more Cisse pushes a little bit further.
Yeah, Cisse definitely guns into the back post.
Guns back, yeah.
Just
So he
get from the
pushes.
box a bit
He's
more.
got obviously he's got the license. A lot of coaches wouldn't give you the license to have your number 8 at the back
and look,
post.
and it will backfire during the season.
Yeah,
But
I think it'll
it's worked
backfire
so far.
against the bigger clubs.
Or
Or the counter
teams
attack,
are
like the
better,
Brentford,
more deadly
the
counter
Brentford,
Yeah.
like 2-2.
Like, if Wemo would run
Yeah.
as we saw
Yeah,
when they
and then
But they've been huge. People, we looked at their signings and we
a
go,
good call.
they're still lacking a bit in midfield.
Yeah.
But then
But then you realise, they still got Basuma.
I wouldn't even thought about them
I know.
in Basuma, to be honest.
Hilarious. I
thought he was on the
when we
way
were
out.
talking pre-season, I was thinking, oh my god, they got Højbjerg in
Where'd you
there.
think
They got like all
I
of
thought
us.
he was on the way out. I thought he would never because he hasn't played for like a year.
I forgot he played for
Yeah, I'm saying
Tottenham.
they got Oliver Skip, man.
I just thought it was one of those
Like-
ones that you just have to sell because he
And
hasn't
then-
played. But I guess
Yeah,
Ange knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, in a Potter system, he obviously worked nuts. So yeah. I get what, some mine?
Yeah.
In terms of sort of surprise, right? Look, I had 2. So I had Diaby because I didn't expect
Collide to
Diaby.
the Prem, right?
Yeah, I didn't expect Diaby to be as good as I thought he has been. And then, oh my god, where is the other one? Oh, I've lost this. I've had a stinker. That's embarrassing. Oh, Udogie. Sorry,
Udogie,
yeah. So I didn't watch him last year or I didn't know who it was, to be honest.
Can't lie to myself, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So, and I feel like obviously credit to their Ant system. He's been playing super progressive, getting super high up. But I think he looks really good. And so yeah, him and Diaby obviously. Yeah, the Diaby one, like I fully expected another winger coming in the Prem who can't finish.
It's
really quick, gets into the box. It's just I didn't expect someone who looks at least who's going to be so clinical.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely surprised me, and I think it's a great pickup by Villa.
It's a good get.
Yeah.
How much was he? Anyone know? Like 50 mil?
50.
Just around 50.
They're all 50 nowadays. Everyone's just 50
Yeah.
mil.
If you're not a big name,
That's why it's so
50's
surprising.
like the new 30, and 30 was like the new 10.
Yeah, that's why Basuma at 25. I know it was a year ago, but like,
that's still
yeah,
good money.
That's amazing.
The best year he had under Brighton, he got him for 25. Yeah. Well, that just wraps us up. Good chat in there. Good debate.
Good little debate on one time. That went for about half an hour.
Yeah, no.
We waffle, bro, sometimes. We just waffle.
That's what we hear. We hear a waffle.
You gotta do a thumbnail once where you do like me versus Flynn like wanting to attack each other or something, something like that.
Gloves up.
Yeah, like
Gloves
gloves,
up.
yeah.
That's
What
funny.
was that? Well, Premier League comes back this weekend. We'll record again next Tuesday. We'll have it up next Tuesday.
You're away, eh?
So,
I'll be back for the podcast on Tuesday.
You're away.
Yeah, I'm away. I don't know if I've said.
Have you said it? I don't think you've said it.
Yes, I am away. So, videos on the road. We're trying to get some League Two.
Where's he going?
So some League Two and some Premier League action. That's all I'll say. Some League Two and Premier League
Salford
action.
City.
We're getting some big games in there. I'll enjoy that. I hope we get some videos out in a few weeks' time when I come back and have time to edit. But I'll be back. We'll do this podcast on Tuesday when I come back.
So
We'll
you're
see
back
that again.
Tuesday?
Back Monday night. So we'll get it done on Tuesday.
Back again.
Run it back. Run it back to it. No, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming on again this week. Hopefully with some Premier League football next week. A bit more to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed at home. Remember to like, subscribe. We're on a good little run here, so let's keep the numbers up. And we'll see you guys. 130, I think now. We're ticking.
You know what? It's moving at a good rate.
We're ticking over week by week. We'll get the week up. That's gone. We'll see you guys next week, guys. Have a good one.